All right. Good morning. My name is Colonel Guy Mikowski. I'm currently the 14th Medical Group Commander at Columbus Air Force Base, Mississippi. My AFSC is a 42B, so I'm a physical therapist and have been doing that for almost 22 years. I've been invited this morning to discuss basically my experiences, personal experiences with meta leadership and the background that I've seen and experienced. I was very blessed and fortunate to actually hear and see Dr. Marcus present during the Intermediate Executive Skills course in San Antonio a couple times, and got to see firsthand from the instructor himself how that meta leadership model works and how it's supposed to be executed. So my example and story from my career on meta leadership and how it works revolves around my opportunity when I served as the Deputy Director for the Commander's Action Group for the Air Force Surgeon General. It was an incredibly challenging and unique experience to work with our senior leaders and see exactly the complexities of the mission set and what we were up against. During this time frame, the Air Force Medical Service was having a large shift in our operations and our focus. We had challenged our clinicians and our teams to increase our productivity, focus on our business planning, and address a lot of those challenges on productivity and metrics. As a physical therapist, we had been working on this issue and challenge for quite a few years, but we always seemed to have some challenges with getting the traction that we needed and the momentum within our community. Part of the reason for this is that our physical therapy community has the Air Force PT consultant, and that was one 06 colonel that was in charge of the entire community, which was approximately 128 physical therapists and a little over 300 physical therapy technicians. As you can see, the span of control and the operational responsibilities for this individual were vast because it was an additional duty, and our 06 was also a clinician running the clinic and operations and seeing patients himself. Recognizing that this was an incredibly difficult situation for our 06, we started to brainstorm and figure out how we could solve this problem. Having been in the Commander's Action Group and working on air staff, seeing how the A staff was designed with SG1 and SG3, etc., I reflected on the fact that we don't have anything of a similar nature or design for our PT community. And our 106 and his chief were basically responsible for the entire team producing about 500,000 visits for the AFMS. Quite an onerous task for just one person to manage at all of the different facilities, approximately 66 MTFs across the globe. Recognizing this challenge, I basically recommended to our PT consultant that maybe we design and model this particular construct. He said, "Sounds like an idea, let's pursue it." So with that challenge, I went to the drawing board and started to explore how we could mimic the A staff for our PT community to create basically a cadre, a layer of experts for our PTs to leverage their expertise and to distribute the workload off of our one single point, our consultant. So we basically created a SGOY 1, 3, 5, 6, and 9 staff that mimicked air staff and allowed us to leverage some of our graduated squadron commanders, some of our lieutenant colonels that were in other billets who had expertise and experience to tackle these challenges. Obviously, something of this nature requires a lot of collaboration and work across the different silos because we'd never attempted to achieve anything like this before. And at the time, I wasn't even in the career field or the community. I was, again, back on air staff. So with some collaborative effort, communication with my colleagues, I worked across the AFMS to talk to my counterparts to solicit their support. I recruited experts, some in the SGOY-1 personnel side of the house. At the time, it was Lieutenant Colonel Bohush, who had been a fellow on SG-1. We also took some of our experts who had graduated from fellowship programs, at the time Major Brian Young, and he had worked in the operations side of the house, and recruited all these different individuals to fill these particular roles. In 2010, at the time, our consultant was Colonel Rob Lucania, and Colonel Lucania endorsed our idea and proposal, and we launched this particular effort. Additionally, with that, we recognized that the geographic span of control was also difficult for our small MTFs to communicate their issues and concerns, so we created a regional construct as well that allowed us to up-channel our information to this particular A staff that we had designed within the PT community to leverage that capability and get some momentum. Looking back now, 9 years later, in 2019, I'm proud and happy to say that this organizational construct continues to exist, and we've been able to leverage that capability exceedingly well. As graduated squadron commanders sometimes find themselves back into the clinic, flight command positions, and other roles, this construct provides these officers with tremendous experience and backgrounds to leverage that and make an impact Air Force-wide, as we've delegated these responsibilities on the different silos for them to execute and make a difference. So from a global systemic perspective, this has been a tremendous opportunity for us to develop our officers, give them an opportunity to share their experiences and reach down and mentor those individuals who are looking for opportunities as well.